that. Is this working? Can you hear me?
Turned off.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Turn it down.
Sounds like that song, doesn't it? Can you hear me now?
Tom turned it off deliberately.
Tom did, yeah. Thanks a lot for providing this venue for us, everybody that's put the hard work into it. Quite right what Tom and Michael have said and others. The power is with the people, you know, and we've been doing, I wouldn't say it's an experiment as such, but where I live in North Yorkshire, we decided that we were going to set up our own council, because what we have in this country is corporations calling themselves Redcar Council, Nottingham Council, whichever council it may be, private corporations. They are private corporations, they're there for profit. They get grants in your name. They get grants for you. They get grants to protect the homeless. Well, I'm not sure about anybody here. Most people here are probably from Nottingham. Are they protecting the homeless?
No.
So where's that money going to? You know, so from our point of view, as a community, we set up our own council. Because what is a council? A council is a group of people together that discuss issues that affect us every day, every week, every month. So we've set that up because we have the lawful right to do it, you know, through the provisions of Oxford, Magna Carta, Bill of Rights, etc., etc. Forget the acts, forget the statutes, forget Parliament for a minute. It's difficult to forget them, especially Cameron. You know, I'm not going to talk much about him because I'll probably get arrested if I do. Inciting a riot or something even serious, more serious. But the fact of the matter is, we can govern ourselves. You know, I look around, I know quite a lot of people in this room, and I actually don't see many people, in fact I don't see anybody that isn't capable of breathing, of living. You know, I don't see slaves, I see people that have been brought into slavery through forgery, through forged documentation, i.e. the birth certificate. Look enough, I don't particularly have one, because my mum was awake 21 years ago, 14 years ago, and I particularly don't have that. And you know what, I left home at 15. You know, I'm saying this to the youth that may be looking at these videos when we get out of here online. I left home at 15 because, probably one of the reasons why my son didn't come today, because he's been brought up with this. I thought my parents were lunatics. What are you on about? You know, paying tax contributes to our daily lives, doesn't it? It switches the lights on outside. You know, it empties our bins. It brings a brilliant education system. A brilliant, fantastic education system. We create a council. It's an amazing council. They don't want to control you. Why would they want to control you? Why would they want to do that? Why would the government want to control you? Well, the fact of the matter is, it's all about the money. We talked about courts. Courts are banks. They're not places of law. Courts have not been places of law for a hell of a long time, and I'm probably talking about 300 years here. Hell of a long time. I was brought up in law. I trained as a contract lawyer, a commercial lawyer. You know, I worked for government. I've worked for councils and housing associations. So this is the area that I know. I know how their system works. I know about the Siska V, and they know that I know. And they probably don't like me. Who knows? You know, I got arrested, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I got arrested 2 weeks ago. The offence that I committed was stopping a very good friend of our community from being CS sprayed and attacked for doing nothing wrong. I'm telling you the truth, he did nothing wrong. They came with what they clarified as a warrant. We've talked about this for years now, you know, and Guy talks about this. You know, there was no signature, there was no seal. I clarified the situation to the police constable. Betty was there as well. And you know what he did? He just pulled out, without warning I believe, without warning, pulled it out. Not just once but 3 times. Dan, our friend, was blinded. I don't know if anybody in this room has ever been CS sprayed in the eyes. Very, very difficult. Can you well, we've got an ex-police constable in the room. I won't point him out. It's not one of attacked, he's one of ours. But you know, or ex-military personnel where you're trained to take pepper spray, etc., to get used to it. You know, it blinds you. You can't breathe. It's like you get a panic attack, you know. And I had it partially just to the side of my face. It wasn't nice. The taste, I don't know. Some people tell me it tastes like Red Bull, but I don't drink drinks like that. But it was awful. And you know, the thing for me that mostly upset me, and I was emotionally upset. And there's people in this room that were there that saw me once I got released. Thank you for the wine. When I got released from the cell, actually they only held me for 3.5 hours, which I was quite surprised, because usually they hold you a lot longer than that, and it's kind of a minimum of 7 hours. When I told them I was a journalist, I don't know if that made any difference. I don't know if that spooked them at all. I wouldn't give my name, I wouldn't give my details. I just said, look, I'm John. That's all I am. And I want to report a crime. And the fella that had literally attacked me and my friend said, I filmed it, you know, as you do. We all do this. I filmed it, not on this phone, on another phone. I don't know where that phone is at the moment, but it's held by the Crown Corporation, because I proved beyond doubt that there was a vicious assault. Now let me tell you, it doesn't matter whether you're a police constable or a member of the public. You cannot draw a firearm and attack somebody for no reason at all, you know, and that's completely against the attestation or the oath that the police clarify. The police are there to protect your property and the people. That's what they state. So if they're not acting in that manner, are they a police constable? No. I'd say that they're not, but that's just my own personal opinion. I'm not a criminal lawyer, so I don't know. But I know that I saw a very vicious assault that has made us suffer, you know, made our family suffer, and made us suffer as a community dreadfully over the few weeks. And I've thought about this area because we want solutions, you know, and I've tried for years to provide solutions from the experience that I've got, do you know, and I'm a man, and I make mistakes, like we all do. That's why I'm here. This is why I'm here today, and this is why I'll be here tomorrow, and next week, and next month, and next year, because I learn from their mistakes, and I say, well, how are we going to do this, John? Do you know what we're going to create? Well, let's create our own council, a council of people. For example, if they come for you for the council tax, say, well, who are you? Well, I'm so-and-so council. You're not my council. These are my council. You are my council. I'll be counselled by you. You're my peers. That's not a problem. And you go back to the grand juries, which Michael spoke about. You know, this is my peers. This is my grand jury. Are they my mates? Some of you might not be. I don't know. You know, some of you may be. But at the end of the day, you are my peers. You go to a separate room without me and say, this is the facts. They're the facts. That's the truth. Do we agree or do we disagree? Is there something to answer for? Is there nothing to answer for? And my peers make that decision. So therefore, what have we got now? And Michael again was quite right. The magistrates' courts are a waste of time. They have no place in law. Even their own law books, I didn't write them. And in fact, I learnt this from Guy. The Halsbury's clearly states that the magistrates' court has no place in law. It's an administrative court, that's all it is. It's a meeting of minds even, if you'd like to say. You know, that is all it is. But we know that they're corrupt. We know they're not a place of law. We know this because an individual within our community was taken by the police in a sweat van to a court in Wales, and then he was placed in prison by a clerk. It happened. The magistrates behind, don't know if it was 2, 3, whatever, generally there's 1 or 3, they have nothing to do with it. They didn't know what the hell was going on. That's a fact. So where are we now with this court situation? They're not courts of law, and the people have the power. So going back to what Tom just said, and I didn't know what he was going to say. I had a partial idea, but I didn't know what he was going to say. The only way we're going to move forward is by being a collective of people, because the people have the power. You know, you have, I don't know if it's 150,000 people in London the other day protesting. Brilliant. But you know, if 150,000 people wrote a letter, did an email and made a phone call about injustice, even more so powerful, a lot more powerful. And this is what we should be doing. This is what we should be, I'm not a marketing manager by the way, but this is what we should be marketing amongst each other. Some of us have differences of opinion, you know, but I think I think the end game is to bring about, for me, the rule of law. You know, we don't need no new laws or new acts or new legislation, if we abide by the constitution that we agreed to, if we agree with that constitution, then what's wrong with it? I don't see any problem with that. I don't see any problem with the Bill of Rights at all. If I think I can live by the Bill of Rights, I'm happy to. You're not happy to for whatever reason. But you know, I don't. Anybody else? Is everybody happy to live by the Bill of Rights, or somebody's not? For what reason? Why wouldn't you want to?
I don't go with any NLP linguistic programming writings of control of saying how we should live.
Right. Okay.
You know,
And you have that right. Do you know why? Because you're self-determined.
No, and all I see is as long as there's no harm.
If you do no harm to anybody, that's quite right. It is quite right.
No harm to anything, not just anybody, because any sentient living being.
Yeah. There's got to be mutual respect. From the, we're part of the universe. You can't change it. When people say, well, what's this universe? You're not part of the universe. Well, I'll tell you something. Look outside. Look at the green, look at the sky, look at the sun, look at the wind. Don't you think you're part of that? You can't change that. That can't be denied that we're part of the universe. It cannot be denied. It can't be. Try it. If anybody's here that can, or anybody can write in on that and say that.
Which universe would that be? and do you know that some of us only pass through the universes?
You know what? Some of us have been here before.
We've all been here.
You know,
we're all eternal.
Yeah, we are eternal.
Something to be eternal, that means it's always has been.
We're all spiritual, but what I'm trying to get to now is we need a restoration for the people, because the people have the power. This 1%, they are 1%.
Less than that.
They're less than 1%.
What is this power thing that everybody's so keen on getting?
You're the master of your own destiny. I'm the master of my destiny. I don't control you, you don't control me. That's how it should be. Have we committed harm to each other? If there's something that I've committed harm to you or you've committed harm to me, then I think our peers have the right to say, well, actually, look, we'll get a court here. We'll put a court together and say, well, I've done harm to you or you've done harm to me, and this is the reasoning behind that. You know, that's quite just. I'm happy for that. If I've done wrong for somebody, I can't go, well, tough. It's tough. I've done wrong to you. You know what I mean? But I feel right that I can say, well, look, here's a group, here's a court, here's a council, here's a people. Somebody's got a problem against me, or I've got a problem against them. Listen, guys, I'm going to get out of the room. You decide. Have I done wrong? Have I done right? I believe in that system. I believe that's a true system that cannot be manipulated by people that want the truth and that look for the truth and don't want to commit harm to another.
For observation, that system never works because you always have manipulators in any situation that you always see. They always try and manipulate all those opinions and thoughts.
You're always going to have that.
Yeah, well, so that's why the systems don't work, because you always have that. You see.
But if you have it's a shame that we haven't got two mics, so you can hear what you're saying and we can give the feedback backwards and forwards, because this is going to be heard on this camera, I don't think. Or will it be?
It could pick it
well,
up.
that's good that it picks that up. I know what you're saying. Everything can be manipulated, but can truth be manipulated, really? Can truth be manipulated? Can facts be
Truth is somebody's
manipulated?
opinion and how they see it. So two people can observe something and describe it in totally different ways, and both be from points of truth.
So shall we not move forward?
That's objective truth. The objective truth is that which can be evidenced. It's clear.
Yeah.
It doesn't depend on the individual's interpretation. I'm sorry to interrupt.
It's okay, Michael, carry
It's a
on.
good point. It's a good point you made. It's that which is, it's the objective truth. The evidence is there.
So
I'd like to back that up also by saying that the view that the human race can't get this together on this planet is fundamentally cynicism. Because we can.
the fact of the matter is we can, and I'll go into this just shortly. I didn't really want to go into this because I talk about trust a lot over the years. But trust starts there and there. Do you know what? Paper's not over people. People is over paper. You can't have a piece of paper to say I control you. I've got a piece of paper, I control you.
Well,
Absolute nonsense.
You can't have it. It doesn't mean I'm going to pay any attention to
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So from the point of view of trust, we have a community. Anybody's welcome to come up to see our community and how we're growing and what we're doing. And I say this 100%, that we can look at each other in the eye. I know it factually, and there's people here that are within that community. We trust each other. Life, death, we trust each other. Immensely trust each other. You know, it's a fact, and it's a beautiful thing, and you don't see a lot of it. I go up and down, or I used to go up and down the country, and it's difficult to find it. And there's only two places, and Tom said this, but he's out of the room now. Nottingham is pivotal in terms of what's going to go on in the future. There's no doubt. There's no doubt, because there's a lot of very, very good people that trust one another immensely. You know, I remember the time when we were at Tom's house, and I think there must have been, I don't want to over-exaggerate it, but let's say there were 600 people. I think there was more than 600 people. But 600 people, a lot of them were strangers, but they had one cause, the truth and justice. And they trusted Tom's family and backed Tom's family up. To this day I still do this, you know, and some of us get flack. There's some people even in this room that get flack for backing up a really good family that I trust, and they deserve all our backing, and the future progress of what they're putting forward needs our backing. You know, if we don't back each other, if we don't support each other, if we have a failure of trust, if we've got a problem, or anybody's got a problem with me, or I've got a problem with you, you know what, communication, let's sit down and say, right, I've got a problem, I've got an issue here, let's discuss it, or I don't want to discuss it with you, I'll discuss it with this lot, and they'll make a decision, and then we'll discuss it with you. But let's not break down barriers now, because we've not got time. This is we're in danger. A lot of people are in danger. You know, Guy got dragged away, I got dragged away, a few of us have been dragged away and incarcerated for doing nothing. Absolutely doing nothing. In fact, we did the right thing. From our point of view, we're trying to bring out the truth, we're trying to speak about the truth, and we're making ourselves a target. Do you know what? There's no children here. I don't give a shit if I'm a target, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be on, sorry, I do apologise, I'm not going to be on my knees begging towards this corrupt government and the corrupt councils that they're saying they're short of cash. The police are short of cash until they want to arrest one of us. And they can get 10, 20 police constables, you know, to your door. You know, when I was arrested, and even when Guy was, I had people that from the constabulary that said it's disgusting what is happening to you people. They're not all bad. Not every constable is bad. Not every judge is bad. We need to find the good ones, and if you like, let's hope they don't infiltrate. But well, we're not doing anything wrong. Get them on board. We need you on board. We are the people. You are the people. Because do you know what? One day when you're down on your luck, it's going to come knocking. And they're going to come for your house. I'm not being a fearmonger, because we see it every day. You know, in this country, we see, it's appalling. You know, I've got some beautiful children, and we see child abuse. And some people are more interested in talking about EastEnders or whatever than a child being abused, somebody vulnerable being abused here. Or they talk about benefits treating people that are on benefits. I tell you what, the worst benefit fraud ever, House of Lords, 300 quid a day, unelected. But yet they're making laws. Well, they're not making laws, they're making policies to control you and I. They create paperwork to control you and I. And then you've got the people, you know, in their places that are policy enforcers. They're corrupt. It's completely against, I like the Constitution. I personally like it, some people may not. I do love the Constitution and what it's all about. I do love the law, as in a protection system for the people. That is rules. Law is rules, you know. But do you know what? I'd rather somebody get locked away for abusing somebody, murdering somebody, or committing harm to somebody. I'd rather have that rule in our society, which is law. I would rather have that. You know, I'd rather have a situation where, do you know what, like Iceland and the bankers and the mortgage fraud, I'd rather have that system where the country turns around and says, no more, I'm not having this. You know, and money is partly the root of all evil. It's a bartering system that we've used that's been, you know, like you said, manipulated like the law has been. Well, the law's not being manipulated. The legal system has been manipulated, and they say legal is the same as law, and they're completely two different things. So, to sort of conclude, I believe we need to set up a trust, you know, and this starts here and here. I'm not talking about paperwork, we can do that, that's not a problem. But we need to set up these trusts with people that trust each other. If you don't trust somebody and you've got a gut feeling that somebody's a little bit dodgy, do not create that trust with them. Don't do it, because it's not going to work. But if you do trust them, you know, like we have a beautiful community where we trust each other, we have a trust, we have a council, and we are self-determined, which is, you know, it's international law, but we are self-determined because we are men and women that can think and govern for ourselves. And this is what we need to do. There's a lot of, you know, keyboard warriors or whatever we call them that do all the typing and that. You know, we've got different. Some of us are on the front line, and some of us don't like to be on the front line. And do you know what? I hate being arrested. I hate being in a sweatbox. It's an absolute nightmare. And I don't think you. Well, maybe there are some people that get used to it. I'm not used to it. I don't like it. I don't like being handcuffed. I really detest it. I don't like being CS sprayed because I've never broke the law as such, the rule of law. So I don't like that. What also I don't like, you know, maybe controversial, I might get in trouble for this and I probably will do, but to take away nature and say it's against the law to plant a seed, that's a hemp seed, a cannabis seed, whatever seed that may be, when you've got cancer curing plants, and then they have a Cancer Act that states that you're not allowed to talk about something that prevents disease, is a disgrace. And this is what we have, a government that backs that up. Not just this government, but governments going back hundreds of years. And I don't really want to go down this road, but you know, you've got charities that are raising billions, but they know that there's also, that it's there. The cure is there. There's people in this room that I know personally, I'm very close to. And we've suffered in this area from a disease and cured it naturally. I'm not going to mention any names. But we've done this. But do you know what? For me to tell you that, I know I'm transgressing, but for me to tell you that a seed can not only cure, but can feed the world, I can get arrested for that and put in prison. I can get arrested for making that statement and putting in prison. And if I give that cure to somebody else, which I actually do, you know, and I try to help people, you know, not only in our country, to provide these cures, whether that's, you know, through hemp oil or anything else. I do that because I love and I have compassion, and I don't make money out of it. I actually lose. But do you know what makes me happy is that I see that people are being healed, and I've experienced it myself on a personal level, and from friends of mine that are close to me. I've seen that, and I've been in self-help groups where I've seen people be healed by natural plants. You know, and then from my point of view, I see pharmaceuticals that are making billions upon billions and crucifying many people in here because they want you to be ill. It's sad, but they want you to be ill. So this is serious. We're in a serious state where we've got the police that are policy officers that are attacking us. We've got the taxman that's trying to take every penny out of your pocket. You've got the pharmaceutical industry that are desperately trying to kill you. I'm not exaggerating. It's exactly what they're trying to do. And do you know what else they're trying to do? And I think it was Michael that brought this up. They're trying to turn us against each other. They are. There's shills that are paid. It's ridiculous to think about it. And I used to, you know, 5 years ago, I'd think, rubbish, or well, maybe more than that, a few more years than that. But people are paid. People are paid to infiltrate us. And what are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? Have I done anything wrong? I don't think I've done anything wrong. Maybe in the eyes of the law, because I've suggested that hemp oil cures cancer and other things, dandelions, etc. Maybe I'm wrong. Please lock me up if I'm wrong. That's the case, but I can prove it beyond doubt, medical fact.
John,
And I'm
you're not on the purpose programme.
We're not on the purpose programme, the common purpose programme. I can't get in a common purpose, we'll be here all afternoon, and it's already been a long day. But all I want to put together is we really need to unite. You know, whether we've got differences, we need to air them differences if we've got any at all. We need to promote freedom, because we are actually free. The only problem is we've not got the numbers. You know, sometimes we go to evictions, especially when I live down south, and I can get 10 people together and we get more. They roll over us, we can't do it. You know, and then I got a football stadium, well I haven't been to a football stadium for years, but I was seeing Newcastle United the other week, and there's 50,000 people in there that are all supporting. I can't name any of the players either, I do apologise. Alan Shearer used to play for him, that's all I know. But you see 50,000 people in there, yeah, go on, score this goal. Guys, people are dying. You should be stopping that old lady from being evicted. Do you know what I mean? You should be doing that. You know, we spend virtually everything we have to try and help protect people. As a community we do. We try to do our very best, and we meet on a regular basis, and if I've done something wrong, trust me, my community tell me fast. And if they've done something wrong, we've not got the arrogance to sort of say, you're a bit of a twat calling me this. Or we talk to each other on that level as a family, and we might even fall out for a minute, 2 minutes or a week. But we're very truthful to each other, and that's quite important. Without us standing together, we're screwed. That's a fact. Without us standing together, we are screwed. If there's people in the background that want to write letters and do your Facebook posts and that, do it, because it all contributes, it all helps. The phone calls, you know, we've I mentioned Guy a few times, but with Guy when he's in the prison, I'm sure it made a difference that many of us called. You know, when I was in the cells as well, one of the inspectors said, we need to get you out of here. The phone lines are shut because people are ringing, and do you know what? And I'm sure Guy will have testament. I felt like crying because I felt like I had my community behind me, that they wanted me out of that cell. You know, and I've done nothing wrong, but I come out of there, you come out there with your gear, you know, and everything, and you do feel alone, and you open the door, you come out and go, you know, my friends are here, they're there, they're backing me up all the way. That's what we have to do, and that is it. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
In association with GetOutOfDebtFree.org.